look now. You can see here on the right side of the screen, the referee adjusting the position. Sorry. And now the defensive player moving forward and getting the foot under the shooter. And this is quite dangerous, like we said before, okay? So he got it. It was the correct decision, and you answered correctly also. About the IOTs, it's the reading the play, anticipating, active mindset. He adjusted the position. He got an open angle, at least enough to get the right decision, okay? And what about the communication and the body language of this referee? It's quite strong, I would say, because no one has a doubt of what he called. This is what we are looking for. Look his decision, quite strong, correct signals, and correct communication, very strong and effective, okay? This is high quality decision. Would any of you would like to add something? All right. So very good work from your side. And now the last two clips. So I'm going to do this again. And you can write the same, but now about, I think now it will be easier because it's the second time. So clip number 2. Clip number 2 for groups 1, 3, and 5, and clip number 4, correct? For groups 2, 4, and 6. Okay, you can start. Okay, groups 1, 3, and 4. Do you need any help with the writing? Paul, can you, okay, number 4 and 3, okay. It's just taking some seconds to show up on the screen.
Ulrich, are you doing number 1, group 1? Yeah, okay.
Sorry, just having a couple of issues there. Did somebody else start writing that for us?
All right.
Sonia, do you mind resizing the bottom rows? I just can't write anymore.
You can write?
The bottom, the 6, if you just resize the kick out thing, I just can't click any further. Sorry.
Now I got you. Sorry. I didn't understand it before. Okay, 1 sec. Okay, like this?
Yeah, that should be fine.
I'll give you some more room.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay, like this. Okay. Very good point. Lead attempts, fake a foul. Correct. Group 4, do you need some more room to write? Magic, is it you?
Sorry. No, I think we should be okay. I think
All
Jamie has more notes. That's the only I remember.
right.
Jamie, maybe he can unmute himself and he can add more comments.
All right. Okay. Okay, we can read it like this. It's not a problem. Maybe I will delete this one. This one. Okay. No. No, it's better. Okay, I will click on it. All right. So we finish. Okay, clip number 2. We're gonna watch one time the clip. Just 1 second. Clip number 2. Here we go. Is it visible?
It is, yeah.
Okay. So in fourth quarter, 6 minutes something. Active shooting from the 3-point line. And the referee calls personal foul on the offensive player, on the shooter. By spreading his legs, right? So let's check your comments. I believe you all got it right. So, okay, in the fourth quarter, offensive player kicks out leg, correct. Offensive player, contact on body, contact on body of defender. Yes, responsible, white 2, yes, the shooter, correct. Correct, offensive foul. Okay, so one comment. What do you think about this? Is it an offensive foul or not? Group 3.
I think
Yes.
as a group we agreed that it was an offensive foul.
Okay, so it was a foul committed by the shooter, who was the offensive player, right?
Yeah.
No,
No.
Rihanna, I told you the ball was released, so it wasn't an
ball's
offensive
released.
foul.
Yes, ball's
That's
released.
the point. Very good. That's the point. So the ball was released. That team doesn't have possession anymore. So we cannot call it offensive. Yes, it was the offensive player, but it's not anymore an offensive foul. It is a personal foul. Okay. So what happens if if this team is in a team foul penalty situation? What would happen after this? If this player makes a foul and they are on bonus,
Two free shots.
Two free shots because they don't have team control because they shot the ball.
Exactly. So it makes all the difference. So when analyzing this kind of plays, we have a lot of plays to control, no? And also we must be aware of when the contact happens, before or after the ball was released. And this is everything happens very fast. So we must know the sequence and we must know where to look at. Okay, because if our mind is not ready for this kind of plays, it's quite hard to get the right decision. So your answer is correct, except for this.
Yeah, I just should have said personal instead of offensive foul. Yeah.
Exactly.
Thank you. Thank you.
And okay, IOT is strong and clear. Active mindset, stationary, making the call. Double whistle not needed. Yes. Excellent, strong. Okay, I believe you all agree. Leg to body, this is by opening the legs. Let me ask you one question, groups 1, 3, and 5. What signal should the referee show to the table? What is the official signal for this kind of foul?
Direction of play?
After showing, so what kind of foul was it? Was it pushing? Was it a charge? What was it?
Blocking?
Blocking foul.
Blocking foul, correct. Blocking foul. And one question more. If this contact happens and the defensive player doesn't fall on the floor, do we need to call a foul or not? If there is some contact because the offensive player spreads his legs, there is this contact, but it doesn't affect the defensive player and he's not falling at all. Do we need to call a foul on this?
Only if it affects the play.
Only if it affects. Correct. So because in this play, it's very clear that it affected because we have the defensive player on the floor. Because of this, we must call a foul. And like you said, the decision was correct. Foul committed by the offensive player, but not in possession anymore. So personal foul, and the shot was good. So very good work. Would anyone like to add something? Some more comment about this?
Yeah, can we call unsportsmanlike foul on this situation?
No, in this kind of plays, no, because this is not. This is a normal situation, a player shooting open a little bit the legs, and this is not considered as an unsportsmanlike play. Okay, so never call unsportsmanlike on this. Okay, only if the player was kicking the other player. This would be different and maybe not unsportsmanlike, but this kind of situation, don't call unsportsmanlike. It's a normal foul, blocking foul by spreading the legs. Okay, but it was a very good question. Okay. Some more questions, some more comments about this display? Okay, I'm gonna delete this part so that we can read better what's here. Okay, I believe now it's clear. And let's go to the last video. Last one. All right, is it visible?
It is, yes.
Thank you. So we have fourth quarter, 2 minutes something. Player shooting from the 3-point area. Something happens. Referee calls a foul on the white player that was the shooter. And he spreads the legs, contact with the foot. He creates a contact with the foot there, and we have the defensive player falling down because of this contact. And I've read that some one group mentioned that the lead was doing flop signal. Yes, correct. This is not decision for the lead. This is a decision for the trail. Okay, we are not analyzing here the responsibilities or this situation by the lead, but it's a very good point. Okay, it was visible, the lead showing this is why it is important not to be taking decisions outside of our areas of responsibility. Okay? So let's go through your answers now that you watched the video. Okay, end of the game, offensive player responsible, correct. Active shooting 3 points, landing foul, could not agree. Okay, in your group you didn't agree. Group number 4, can you share with us what was the differences of opinion? Magic, is it your group?
Yeah. Sorry, I was on mute. So no, when we review this clip probably 100 times, which on the course sometimes we don't have this opportunity. Few referees went by defensive foul. So that's why we and then we were running out of time to discuss further. So we haven't finally as a group agreed what decision we're gonna go, because we were kind of not split 50-50, but like maybe the referees from my team who went by the defensive foul can unmute themselves and maybe share more comments.
But this is very important that we have this kind of discussion, because a lot of times the situations are not so clear and it's normal that we have doubts. That's why we have to analyze it, and this is not a problem. I take this chance to tell you, because I mentioned before that it's very important, the basketball knowledge. What is the basketball knowledge? It's the knowledge that we have about the game, but not only about the game in itself. It's what are the coaches teaching the players to do? What tactics, what individual techniques. And now, because the referee is starting calling a lot more fouls on the shooter, because this was a big problem to the referees. We were not protecting the shooter. And that is why FIBA started to put some pressure on the referees to improve when analyzing these plays. So now, to avoid this kind of contacts on the shooter, the coaches are teaching the defensive player to pass by the shooter. So before, when they went to contest the shot, they would go in front in the direction of the shooter. And now the coaches are teaching, don't go in front, jump to the side, pass by, raise your arm and pass by. And in this way, you avoid the contact. And this is exactly what the defensive player did. He did the correct movement, and the contact is created only because the shooter spreads his legs. So he was outside his cylinder, okay? And that is why it's the offensive player, the responsible for this contact. Because if he hadn't spread his legs, look, he is outside his cylinder. So the defensive player is entitled to follow this path, okay? So this is why the offensive player is the responsible. And now we have the defensive player on the floor, we have to call this foul. And
can I tell something?
Yeah, sure.
When we were watching this clip, you can see that camera is coming from supporters, not from lead or trail or center. Mm-hmm. So when was stopped first time is if we were looking for first contact. And if you see from that point what we watching, it was very good stop when you stopped before.
The first time?
We were watching that it was contact on a hand and then second contact on a leg.
Okay. You saw contact on the hand.
Correct.
Okay.
You see?
So, okay.
From that point, if you now zoom it, yeah, it looks like hand to hand.
Okay. Very good point. Look. Hand
can I add something on that? Yes. If you take the other camera angle from the top, it looks like there's no contact on the hands at that time, only when the offensive player lowers his hand later. So
Yeah.
I'm not sure that the contact on the hand is before the one on the leg.
But we will discuss it because it's an excellent point. Excellent. So I will try to. Okay, now.
And you zoom it now. You zoom it, and it looks like hand to hand.
Yeah. Look, in this play, the ball, it's on its flight to the basket. Correct? No contact yet, and ball is in the air clearly. All right. So this small contact that might have happened on his hand, I'm not saying that it didn't happen. Maybe it happened, small contact on the hand. Tell me, did it affect the shot? Yes or no?
No.
No. So small contact, no effect to the shot because the ball had been released. Okay, it's clearly on its flight to the basket. Small contact, hand to hand, no effect, no call. Best decision, no call. Also, another tip is that we call what is obvious to everyone on the gym, okay? And this small thing, and I'm not saying that it didn't happen, maybe small here, maybe small, completely didn't affect, but not clear. We cannot say 100% sure, yeah, it was clear, no. But this was very clear. This is what everybody sees. So we have here two things. First, this light contact after the shot didn't affect the shot at all. Because if the ball was in the hand, maybe it did, okay? But this is not the case. And now this is very clear and we cannot miss it, okay? Do you agree?
Yes, correct.
Okay, but very, very good point. This is why we are discussing. This is not only me talking, and a lot of times we can see new things on the video, and believe me, I hadn't seen this touch before. And it was very light, no effect, but it happened, yes, you were right. So would you like to add something more to this? Okay, I believe we covered. Okay, good position, primary trail, yes. Trail for fist pumping and cross body, yes. I would like to say something about this. Loose fall forward, yes. All of you got this correctly, if I'm not wrong. Now I would like to say something about the, and just to finish, about the signals and the body language and what we have to show. And it was clear in another clip, I didn't mention, but it was clear. Look, this is very good referee. He was in several clips and every time with excellent call. And also very good body language, very good presence. This is what we want to look for and to do similar. Look, he's strong signaling, but here we don't have to show so many times the fist for the foul. And now something that I would like to tell you, never, okay, no, don't point the players, and one group mentioned it, correct, but never, never, never turn your back to the players. Never, never do this, because the moment you do this, look, he calls and now calls off. He calls a personal foul to the offensive player, okay, the shooter. So he's not showing offensive foul signal, he's pointing. But now he's turning the back to the players. And what if something happens? We have players on the floor, players mad with the decision, and something can happen. And if we turn our backs, we cannot see. Okay, we have one referee close, but we cannot trust this. We have to deal with it. So when showing offensive foul, this is like when you call out of bounds. Try to open your chest to the court. And don't turn the back. And most of all, don't turn your eyes away from the players. Roberto mentioned in his session, he said, you call the foul and you wait 1-2 seconds and you don't turn your back. 1-2 seconds, wait. be in control, control the situation. After it's controlled, now you go. But before this happens, never turn the back, okay? So again, very good referee, excellent, very good example, communication, body language, everything, accuracy, everything. But even the best have something to improve. All of us have, okay? So this is the way. I don't know if someone else has any remark, any question about this. I know it's late for you. It took a long time because of the problems in the breakout rooms, but I hope that it has been useful for you and you find it interesting. I don't know if
Sonia,
yes.
I just have a quick one on the whiteboard. I think in error I put that center is watching the play. What we noticed when we watched this clip, the lead during the contact, he's completely leaving the paint not covered. I know that we are at center.
Okay.
There's like 4 players and he's totally moved his head watching the contact, which is the main contact for this clip.
Okay, I can do it. Okay, here is okay. Okay, so here, this is responsibility for the trail, not the lead.
Yeah.
Okay.
But even after the shot, we can see that the center is still watching this, what's happening there.
Yes. So main responsibility for the lead is this, but it's okay. It's not a problem. He helps because we have here the center, but it's not his first area of responsibility. And most of all, don't make it, yeah, because he looks and then he looks again, and you are right. And this is not up to him, and he doesn't have to make this decision, and he shows the flop signal because he's close and he's involved in something that is not on his main area of responsibility. So your remark is quite correct, Magic.
Sonia, could we add something more to this situation as well? It's not directly related to the act of shooting, but the white number 4's reaction afterwards.
Okay. Behavior.
It's very aggressive and taking both hands to his head, really showing not his unagreement.
His disagreement, correct. Look, normally we have to understand emotions in the moment, okay? And look, we have to understand also the time, the momentum. This is the 4th quarter, tight game, 2 minutes to the end. This is an important play, and this is an emotional reaction. And we must give some space to the player because this is human, no? But after this, if he continues, that's a different story. And this happened, and this is a very good point also, this happens not only on this clip, but also, I believe, on clip number 2, if I'm not wrong. Exactly. Look the reaction of the shooter. Hands in the head, okay? But we have to be a little bit tolerant with immediate emotional reactions, okay? And this is completely different from a cold reaction or continuously disagreeing with the decision. Now, if after this and after breathing it continues, that is a different story. But for sure, on the other clip, for sure, on this one, 2 minutes to the end of the game, and with this kind of reaction, we don't want to call it technical. This is emotions.
Sonia, is there any point in looking at where the defensive player started his run from to try and block the shot? He was at least a meter, 2 meters away. He was actually just on the end of the keyway when the guy started to shape up to take a shot. Now look,
yes,
and see where he jumps from. I mean,
yes.
you know, we're cylinders and we have cylinders,
Mm-hmm.
but I think the two of them were out of the cylinders.
Actually,
and the point that you made that it might have been, we thought that there was a contact by the defender on the offensive player, which it was correctly spotted that he came down on the offensive player's foot. So there was contact in both ways. So is there any point in discussing whether that was worth two contacts that you would ignore and concentrate on the...
Okay, that's a good point, Tony. So the first one, we agreed that we should ignore because it didn't affect the shot, and it happened, it was a very small contact, right? So the second one, we have, you pointed out two different things. First, was the defensive player outside of his cylinder? I don't think so, but it's very clear, at least not with his legs. Look, not with his legs. He's passing by the offensive. He's passing by. But here is very clear that the offensive player spreads his leg. So for sure, we don't walk like this. He's completely outside of his cylinder with his right leg. Now the second question is, can we ignore this? And if this kind of contact doesn't affect the movement of the defensive player, and this means if it doesn't fall on the floor, yes, we should ignore it. But now we have small contact with big consequence, which is two players on the floor. And we need a decision on this one. And there can be only one decision. And this is the offensive foul for the reasons that we've mentioned before. Okay, so very good points to analyze. Very good, Tony. Very good. And like I said, not every play is black or white. And that is why we are discussing. But in this one, I really agree with this. Okay, this is not my opinion. This is FIBA opinion. And for sure, you had these 4 clips before in the Scott project. And I really agree with this conclusion for this play. Do you agree with this, Tony?
Yep. It was only a point that, you know, if we're talking about the space that players, both offensive and defensive players, are entitled to on the court, and they're cylinder and they're outside a cylinder, and you know, to my mind, the defensive player jumped well outside of the cylinder, and that's why there was contact where we thought there was contact on the offensive player's hand. And okay, the offensive player, he did spread his feet. You know, he had a good position at the start of it, and he stuck his right foot out. So I mean, you know, if there was, you know, in that situation there, both of them were taken out of the game.
Look,
the offensive player exaggerated. He actually exaggerated the contact, but the other guy was in a heap behind him. Yeah. So, I mean,
but one tip for you, for all of us, also for me, is analyze the kind of movement of the defensive player. It really helps, because if we see the defensive player jumping like this to the side, trying to pass by to contest the shot, pass by, in most of the cases, he won't make any foul. In most of the cases. And if there is any contact, most probably it will be created by the offensive player. So this is why the coaches are teaching this, no? But yes, there was also a very good point about the contact in the arm, but like, okay, from this angle, it looks one thing, but we saw before from the another angle that it was almost nothing. Yes, and we should disregard that kind of contact. It didn't affect the shot for sure. But now this one affected. We have 2 players on the floor. But very, very good points for discussion. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Any more comments about this clip or another clip? Okay, so if you don't mind, if you have 2 seconds more of patience, just to share with you. Okay, the main aspects for the clips, we won't go through them because we did before. And I can give you this presentation and you have them here if you want to. But just to leave you with this, he wasn't a referee, he was a player, but a very good example of a mentally very strong person. And this is what we have to be in this period. We have to be very mentally strong as officials, for sure. And most of all in this very hard period for everyone with the pandemics, with the lockdowns. And he says, to learn to succeed, you must first learn to fail. So don't be afraid to fail. Like Amy said, you fail, okay, you break down your video, you analyze, and now you work to be better. If you don't fail, you will never learn. But please don't be failing all the time because it doesn't help also. So just to leave you with this very strong message from Michael Jordan, and to thank you for your patience, for your help. I'm really sorry about the problems with the breaking rooms and with the sharing. I hope next time it will be better, and I hope it was at least a little bit useful for all of you. So thank you very much for your patience and for your cooperation, and well done. Very good job. Very good.
Oh, Sonia, very good job to you. I always say a measure of this, we're here, they're only usually about an hour 10, an hour 15 minutes. We're here nearly 2 hours and we've lost 3 people since we started 2 hours ago. And they actually, the 3 of them text me 15 minutes ago to apologize, to say they had to leave. That's a measure of what you've put on tonight, that people have stayed to the bitter end. It was an excellent presentation. Thank you very, very much. The SCOD program that you mentioned earlier on, we had it twice really. We had it, the presentation on active shooting from Fernando, and then from one of our own, Niamh Callahan. And when you bring that into tonight, bringing in the IOTs with Roberto, and then Amy's video breakdown, you've put it all together for us. It's just an awful pity we can't get out in the court next week and put it all into practice, because it'd be fantastic if we could. What you've done for us tonight, thank you so much.
I thank you.
No, I'm just looking at, Sonia, at what's coming in on the chat, from Joe Lavin, from Matthew Callahan, from Kate Unsworth over in England, from Tom Trainer up in Belfast, Marius, Darius, Michael Ryan, Audrius. It's all just so complimentary. Super job. Super job.
Thank you, everyone, really. For me, this is a big pleasure. I love education. I love even more refereeing, but I love education. So my pleasure to be with you, really, really.
Well, it's our pleasure to have you, and hopefully you will come back at some stage. Yeah, in person.
In person, yes. Please, I wish.
Guys,
thanks, Sonia. See you.
Guys, thank you very, very much. Sonia, have a great Christmas. Stay safe. Have a good year. Let's get rid of 2020 and move into 2021. And hopefully we'll all be back on the court in some way, shape or form, in a safe environment. And as I said, we'll see you on television doing your FIBA games, and we'll see you over here when you come over. Yeah. Thanks, guys. Have a great week.
Thanks very much, Paul. Thanks, Paul. Thanks, Sonia.
Bye. Thank you.
Most enjoyable.
Bye.
Thanks, guys. Very good. Thank you.
Hello.
Thanks very much, guys. Bye.
Yeah. Take it easy. We'll be all free this time next week. Thank you.
Take care, Sonia. Have a good Christmas.
Bye, Tony. Have a good Christmas. You too. Stay safe.
Bye-bye. Thanks very much. It was actually a great night. Great night. Thank you.
Paul, could you stay just 1 minute?
Oh, I am. Don't you worry.
Yeah.
I'm staying. There's 1 or 2 who will stay because, as I said, they're working or they're bringing their dog for a walk or whatever. And then 1 or 2 stay for the chat. I'm going to stop the recording, actually. There's a good thing.